I think it's very hard because Southampton, for instance, where's this form in the Premier League? You know, in the relegation places in the Premier League, and you can put a performance like that in the quarterfinal of the Carabao Cup, but you haven't put one of them performances in for most of the season. So they don't want to be the team like Wigan, who won the Cup and got relegated.
Yeah.
So they've got to show that on the weekend, that performance, go out there and show it on the weekend, and they will be absolutely fine. But last night they were outstanding. Everyone turned up. Everyone was pressing. They were on the front foot. They were the better team. And maybe Manchester City took them lightly.
Well, they haven't taken this cup lightly in the past, have they, City?
No.
But Pep's changes, no Alan, no De Bruyne, I understand. But I thought all the changes were going to be next week against United. I thought that's when, the weekend, I thought that's what he was talking about. I didn't expect him to mix it up last night.
But if you're Pep Guardiola and you've got a squad of 25 players, you're playing Southampton, no disrespect to Southampton. Manchester City's team they put out last night was good enough. They had Alvarez, Foden, Kalvin Phillips, Cancelo, Walker, the Gomez, the left back.
Rewind Kalvin Phillips.
Wow.
You were disappointed, weren't you?
I just feel that Kalvin Phillips is in danger of being on a coach back to Leeds, because he's had his injury problems, then he's had his weight problems, then last night was the perfect game for him to start and show what he's about, show why Man City brought him. Poor Rodri can't catch a break. He was on the bench last night thinking like, all right, I'm going to get a nice rest today. Pep's probably thinking Rodri played every game, most of the minutes. I'm going to have a nice 90 minutes off. 63 minutes, had to bring him on because Kalvin Phillips was that bad.
Yeah.
Couldn't do anything right in the game, and he's in big danger because Pep will not be happy with Cancelo was poor, Phillips was poor, Kyle Walker was poor at centre half, Gomez at left back was poor, and I'm sure Pep's thinking to himself, Foden as well. He's not been himself recently.
No.
There's something going on then. After he signed his new contract, he's not been bang at it. So Pep's got a lot of decisions to make for the weekend.
So what about semi-final draw before we look at the weekend? Saints against Newcastle. This is the week of the 23rd of Jan, by the way. And Forest Man United, crikey, I remember some great games between Forest and Man U. That's again the week of the 23rd. Second leg's the following week. If you're Newcastle, listen, I don't want to take anything away from Saints here, because they needed that. But Newcastle, the way they're going, they must be thinking, hello.
And you see the problem with Southampton is because they're in a relegation battle, Alan. It's very tight down there. Can they afford to play their strongest side for two legs in a semi-final of the Cup? Can Southampton afford to do that? I think
the fans will demand it, to be honest. But look at the Newcastle fans. Newcastle having a brilliant season. Mm-hmm. Look at the Premier. They want to be Wembley, don't they? They want to be lifting silverware.
Give them a trip to Wembley and a chance to win a cup. They're taking out over top 4, top 6. They'll be like, yeah, no problem. I'll finish 7th if we can win the cup. Because imagine Newcastle fans in London, taking over London in a final against Manchester United if they beat Forest. So it's looking nice for Newcastle. I think every team in the semi-final now will be buzzing that Manchester City are out.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Alan Brazil. Thursday and Friday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.